Today, we invite you to unleash your beauty as you journey from your corporate life into your deeper calling with my special guest today, Nakhli Khoury. He's an awakening coach, a breathwork instructor, and a Kundalini Yoga teacher who bridges the worlds of corporate leadership and spiritual transformation. I'm Jennifer Regular, the host of Awaken and Ascend, and also the founder of Lighting the Path and the Leadership Ascension Alliance. And I am so excited for you to be here for this, for what promises to be a very insightful and empowering conversation. Nakhli, welcome. It is so wonderful to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's great to be here. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yes, and it's so wonderful, all the interconnection of how we gather from all around the world. You're sitting in Switzerland, I'm in the west coast of Canada, and we were united by someone who lives in Australia. So what a
Yeah,
beautiful interconnection and a reminder of how we are all connected. And what I've been discovering over the past couple of years and with my guests and with clients and so on is that it's not so much about our individual missions anymore. It's more about the collective mission and more of us coming together, gathering for collective transformation, using our unique approaches, but in a unified way and with a shared vision. So I'm really excited about the new book that's just launched, a collaborative book on corporate to calling. And a lot of my work is about that too, moving away from the career into our deeper calling or even the deeper purpose behind our work so that people can live well while they're doing good and be able to have the kind of impact that they want to make. So I'm really curious, Nakhli, about what brought you into this, because I know you came from the corporate world and compliance was all about conformity and performing, and we're wanting to move away from that, right, into presence and peace. And so welcome and tell us about your journey into that.
yeah. Well, so much to unpack, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think first thing that I wanted to mention, a friend of mine called this the human mycelium network. So I'm not surprised that we met eventually because there is a bigger consciousness behind that. And once we vibrate and we behave or think the same way, we start to attract similar humans, similar experiences. So, and I think it's part of both of our journey to meet today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to answer your question, what brought me to this? I think my whole life trajectory was, in a way, a preparation for that, and I talk about it in the book in more details. But my life experiences, my life journey, moving countries, being a minority, and dealing a lot with issues of belonging and shame,
Mm-hmm.
it was all some kind of a preparation to my journey of becoming who I am. Being in the corporate world also added a deeper layer to that. So um, it enhanced some of those experienced it allowed me clarity, but it also allowed me the space to investigate and to learn about myself. And moving to a new countries and feeling even more isolated was actually the perfect thing that I needed in order to have this space for myself. So yeah, I mean, and I think what's now we are all witnessing is some kind of a grand awakening that it's
Mm-hmm.
not rare experiences anymore. We see more and more people starting to question, starting to feel, is that it? I mean, there's this nudging feeling inside that there's more into it than what we were told or than the stories that we have. Um, and I did this journey in my own. So I had a lot of reading, a lot of studying, and gaining knowledge that is not available. And the decision for me to become awakening coach or someone who support others during these transitions or their own journey was very natural for me. So I know how valuable it is to be there, to walk along the side of others through their journey of becoming. So yeah, I'm happy to share more about that.
Yes, yes. And I'm glad you're here for that. And I love how you spoke about having this space for what was arising, what needed to be expressed within you. And I find that, we talk about becoming, and a lot of it too is about remembering and
Mm.
allowing for what's emerging, allowing the space to reveal a fuller expression of who we are and to have that passion around it. And the way
Yeah.
I see passion, what I discovered when I was in the midst of what seemed like no future anymore, I just kind of lost everything, really lost my sense of purpose and life and goals and so many other things. And what occurred to me was a passion being more of a calling, because when you break up
Mm.
the word, it's pass I on. And that I,
Mm.
being your soul's expression of what you're here to pass on in this lifetime. And that I was also the impact that you're meant to have, the potency. And being able to discover that, we need the right conditions for that to emerge, right? With the people, the places, the energy field, and the frequencies that we tune into as well, to allow for that to come up, to be able to root down, to rise up. And it's hard to root down when we're feeling isolated or alienated, that we don't belong.
Mm.
And then we have this realization, oh, maybe I'm not meant to belong. Maybe I'm meant to stand out and
Mm.
become more of a leader, leadership in our own life, and then how we guide and bring forth other leaders through our work. And I know that you've been doing that through breath work, through the Kundalini yoga as well. Those are some of the practices. And these are also ways I find that allow us to come back into alignment, come back into
Mm.
harmony with ourselves, to really sync up our body, mind, and spirit so that we do come from a place of wholeness and not from a place of burnout or exhaustion or having to chase something or be something and work out of that fog, which is an acronym I could say for fear, obligation, and guilt, which are often our motivating factors. And yet to have the courage, the curiosity, and the self compassion to be able
Mm.
to give more to our life and to be more for those who that we can serve. And so I'm curious, Nakhil, what you discovered about yourself through the process. What kind of things started emerging inside of you that were wanting to be expressed in your life and in your work?
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, you mentioned at the beginning to remember who we are, and this is
Mm.
something really important in the process. Like my framework as a coach has 3 steps, and that's remember, connect, and thrive.
Ah,
The remembering part, because we know all of this. This knowledge came with us,
mhm.
but somehow along the way we forgot it. We got busy with our own life and our routine, and we shifted away from it. So once we tap into this inner place in us, things will become clear, and we will have this feeling that, oh, it's natural. I know this. It feels so like coming home in a way.
Yes.
And this is what I try to allow other people to experience. Once they tap into that, to their higher self or to their inner self, and remember who they are, and the next step is to connect with it, to develop it, and to understand what is your mission. And how can you make sense of all of these experiences that you had? Is there any hidden patterns? Is there any hidden signals along the way that, sometimes we miss, or most of the time we miss?
Mhm.
Once they are able to do that, the next step of what to do next, what I call thriving, becomes more visible, more easy. And then they are acting from energy of love and compassion, and not from energy of fear,
Mhm.
right? Because they feel that this is their calling, this is what I'm here to do. And
Yes.
it's not, oh, will I be successful in this business? Can I quit my job? Or can I do this? Or what if I don't do it? So it's a different type of energy, different type of mindset when you decide to go and walk this path. You cannot make someone walk this path, but you can help someone who decided to walk it, right? Because
Yes.
it's also fine, to live our life in a certain way, and we can live our full life without dealing with our shadows, without doing this work that in most cases it's not fun or it's not easy, right? But it's
Mhm.
necessary once you see it. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it, right? You cannot, in a way, go back to regular things. It seems like redundant, it seems fake, and you feel that it's not where you should be anymore.
Right.
So in my case, during my journey, and I had few signals along the way, and the last one was in a way difficult to ignore, and this is one of life habits. It gives you first a short tap on the shoulder. If you don't hear, listen, it's a push, and then it's a kick. So it depends which signs you decide to say, oh, wait a minute, maybe I should pause a little and see
Oh,
if
you
there's
talking
something
to me?
beyond.
Yeah.
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 And we all have these moments, right? We all
Mhm.
have these things that makes us pause, and reflect and try to see the logic behind it, and what was actually our choice in this lifetime, and what was the mission that we came to do.
Yes.
And in my case, I discovered that I'm a teacher. So this is in my essence. I am someone that enjoys, to gain knowledge and learn, only to share it with others. So my mission is to share what I learned with others that they find it useful.
Yes.
And then my title at corporate becomes, I start to see it differently. So most of my life, I was a consultant. I was working in compliance and ethics. So I was consulting and advising the business. But now I've seen it from a different angle as someone who's gaining knowledge and sharing it with the decision makers.
Yes.
And it allowed me to accept my title more because now I feel that it's more connected to who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and not to reject it because at some point, I also felt some distance from the corporate world and what it represents.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I had this vision or this clarity that if I or if we all leave the corporate world, then it will probably never change. And I feel it's easier, or there should be some work to do from within.
Yes.
And, my chapter in the book is called actually, transformation is an inside job.
Oh, perfect.
Um, yeah. So, and I feel in a way that this is how I am living this transformation, and this is how I'm trying to, give it an example.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like a beautiful read for sure. And I'm sure there's
Mm.
lots of other chapters that are in there from the people that you
Yeah.
collaborated with on that. And I love playing with words. And for transformations, transcending form, right? Going beyond the form that things have taken before and how they can shift into something different and shift our perception, our reality, our way of being. So you're not just filling a role, you're actually expressing yourself through it. I left my career in social services over a decade ago now, but I worked for a couple of decades within it. And for me, but the switch was about not so much wanting to connect with people role to role anymore, an us
Mm.
and them kind of mentality. I wanted to connect with people more soul to soul. And we can do that in the roles when we find a way to move from that corporate to calling mindset. It really shifts the whole trajectory in the way that we are in the role and the impact that we can have within it. I love that you're still in the corporate world and creating transformation from within it. The transformation's an inside job. So inside you, but also inside the system, the corporation, and being able to change that energy field by your frequency and the way that you're operating in it. So I really commend you for that. And I thank you for that because it is so needed at this time. And so when you made that shift, Nakhil, what did you start noticing in your work and the people that you work with?
So I think the first thing I noticed is that suddenly I started to meet people that I've never met before, but they
Oh,
have always been around me.
wow.
Yeah. And in a way, um, I feel the same like what we discussed at the beginning of our conversation, that you start to invite different experiences, and colleagues that were always your team members in a way fade away, and others who were always there, become more visible
Wow.
because who am I now are more resonating with them.
Yes.
And you feel that you meet people that you both need each other at some point. So there's always some kind of knowledge or lessons exchange. And I'm so grateful for that because for me, having different relationship or new relationship or experiences mean that I'm still walking in my path and progressing somehow because I'm in a way moving, okay, next level in the curriculum, right? So what's
Hmm.
next to learn?
Yeah.
Or how can I understand another layer of myself, because this work is never ending, right? I mean, it's not that you reached a point, that's it, I'm done. There's
No.
always more. There's layers upon layers. So I'm always grateful for these new exchanges and experiences, because I feel it's part of the journey.
Absolutely, an infinite possibilities, and we can get really curious about that. We don't have to fear that of being uncertain about what that looks like. It's just being curious,
Yeah.
playing with these new possibilities, and seeing things differently. And you talk about unleashing your beauty through this path of corporate to
Mhm.
calling. So, talk about the beauty that's being unleashed through this journey.
That's a very interesting sentence, because I heard it last week also in a meeting with someone that I really admire. His name is Dr. Zach Bush.
Uh-huh.
But for me, beauty basically is to show up as who we are. We are
Yes.
all have this beauty inside.
Mhm.
And once you show up as you are, people that are looking for you will find you. Because we often use different masks in the corporate setting, in our home setting, in our, friends. And we have so many stories in our head. Why do we hide our true self, right?
Yeah.
We are afraid of judgment, we are fear, we want to belong more, so we hide certain aspects of our personality. But once we are true and aligned with who we are, and as you said, unleashing our beauty, you will be surprised to see that people also see you differently.
Yes.
And they recognize that, and they feel that, and they want to connect with you in a different way. I've experienced this a lot in the corporate setting when I'm being myself, and I always make the joke, when I start to speak in a certain way, the room gets empty
Oh,
pretty soon. But later on, some of those individuals would reach out privately,
yeah.
and they want to listen more. And so, oh, you said something that really resonated with me, and I thought I was the only one. So for me, it's part of my mission to be this person, to be visible in order to allow others the space, or to feel comfortable to reach out, or not to feel judged, or not to feel weird.
Yeah.
Uh, and I like that, yeah.
I like that too. I really like that for them. Absolutely. And it's such a beautiful thing when we can come together in resonance and to fully shine your light, to be seen and visible in that way through radiance and being able to attract and repel through that.
Mhm.
And that's okay. Some
Yeah.
people just aren't ready or accepting where they are in their journey, but being there and available and ready for the people who are is so important. And then we grow that light, we grow in harmony. And that's what I love for humanity in
Mhm.
this moment. And even changing the whole frequency of the earth. It's beating differently too. It's creating a new rhythm, a new field. And we'll see more and more of that, the attraction and the repelling going on quite
Yeah.
a bit. And so focusing though on the beauty and being authentic and being congruent as well and being in harmony with ourselves is what's going to co-create global harmony. And so I love this conversation and I would love for people to connect with you. Like you say, Nakhil, you hold space for people to come who feel resonant with this. So share a little bit more about your work and how people connect with you and what kind of happens when they start to connect with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can share also my link tree, and there's links there to my
Perfect.
social media and how to reach out to me, and, to book a free session, and where I can share more about what I do.
Okay.
Um, so I offer also online session for breathwork, and I coach people one-on-one. I volunteer to support corporate employees also as a coach. And I also practice Kundalini Yoga, and I try to combine these elements in my coaching, because I feel all these principles contribute to the experience of connecting with yourself, and also part of the learning journey.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about yoga that my teacher told me, that yoga tests you in three aspects. Every posture or everything that you do in yoga test your strength, your flexibility, or your endurance.
Mm.
And these are real life examples. So whenever you are doing something and you feel weak or you are cannot hold it anymore or you're not flexible, so this is where the learning starts. Why am I weak here? Why am I back not able to withstand this, or my why my base is weak or not able to be flexible enough. So once you start this process of understanding and analyzing yourself, why do you act a certain way? It's a reflection of your true life situations.
Mm.
Um, so I combine these elements in my coaching, and what I've seen now, also especially in the corporate world, with we are experiencing mass layoffs
Mm.
everywhere, and the number of jobs are becoming less and less.
Oh,
And and I see many employees or corporate employees who feel or going through some identity crisis because the
yes.
job title that they held for so long has been taken from them.
Mm.
And when I ask someone, who are you? In most cases, they start telling me what they are doing for a living or what was their last job title.
Yeah.
And then I insist, but who are you? Like
Hmm.
beyond the title. And we never took the time to really answer these questions for ourselves, first of all, right? Not for others, but just to understand who am I as a person.
Hmm.
And those who feel this need are more open to go in this journey because they feel obligated to answer these questions for themselves first. Because once you do that, your options become more open
Mm.
because you are not chasing the next job title. You're chasing your mission. You're chasing
Yes.
your calling.
Yeah.
And suddenly there's much more things to do than, a certain title that you're looking for or a certain thing. And it's just such a wonderful thing to do with others. I mean, to be there when they have these aha moments or this clarity about what to do next. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for these opportunities.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so your link tree, we'll have that in the video description below, and that'll have the links, of course, to everything, every way of connecting with you. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. And just so everyone knows, too, if you're not a regular on the show, there's a Sacred Leaders Compass as well that I offer as a free gift for anyone who's watching. So that'll be in the video description, too. And of course, our websites will be there. And I wonder if, Nikhil, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience today?
I'm grateful for being here, grateful for
Mm,
connecting with you. I think you have such a beautiful energy. I really
thank you.
enjoyed our conversation, and I'm just humbled to add you and or add myself to your human mycelium network. And hopefully we will stay in touch. And yeah,
Absolutely. And we will. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to each and every one of you that have been tuning in to Awaken and Ascend today. I appreciate you. And I know we'll connect again. Bye for now.